Way to make changes, but how do anti-racism campaigners dismantle some of the structures they feel institutionalise discrimination? In Southampton, there are calls to set up a race advice centre. Those behind the idea say it would give black and ethnic minorities a mechanism to raise grievances, having lost faith in public organisations. Earlier, Don John and Jayanti Shah explained their proposal to me.
Well, I think that the murder of George Floyd made a lot of black people more aware of the racism they've been suffering from for many years. And it's quite clear that in many of the sectors, such as the housing sector, the criminal justice sector, the education sector, there are very few places where black people can go there and complain about their experiences, mainly because there is not an environment where people feel comfortable to say what they think.
Jayanti, I mean, Southampton City Council have made it quite clear that they have set up a stronger communities team that would deal with some of the things that Don is talking about.
Southampton City Council has cut down on their hate crime unit and many other such units over the last few years. Yeah, my experience is people don't feel confident in going to hate crime. First of all, they do not know where the hate crime unit is. Secondly, they don't think it is right for them. So I think especially anybody who witnesses race crime finds it difficult to report it.
You could have the structures in place, but isn't it a bigger problem than that, a huge problem? And Black Lives Matter has really addressed that again, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And I think that we all realise that some of the things in place are quite tokenistic. We know that 20% of the people stopped and searched in Southampton are black and ethnic minorities. Even though black people have complained to the police, very little has been done about that. So there are systems for complaints, but those systems, most people know, are not robust enough.
Jayanti, I mean, Black Lives Matter, does it reflect the experiences of all, or is it much more nuanced than that?
I think it's much more nuanced, but what has happened is racism was there 20 years, 30 years before Stephen Lawrence. It has been there after 20, 30 years after Stephen Lawrence. All that Black Lives Matter does is it has brought back that into focus. What also is different is that people are more willing to complain about it.
You have both worked in this field for many, many years. Have you ever known it as bad as this, or has it been worse than this?
Well, it's been bad in the 60s and the 70s. During the 80s, we thought we were getting somewhere. But then all the structures that were there to support BME people were all taken down because people thought the problem had been solved. We've known for a long time the problem was always there, and the hostile environment has made things even worse.
Organizations have signed documents saying we will behave nicely, we will be anti-racist. But when it comes to dealing with it, they can't act on it. The thing about anti-racism is people who act rather than people who talk about it.
Jayanti Shah, Don John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A Portsmouth City Council has been suspended from the